Hey everyone, Alex Tardy here, National Weather Service. Wanted to give you an update as we have some changing spring-like weather conditions coming up, going from summer-like almost to winter-like. So very warm temperatures, then a cool down with some precipitation. Let's take a look at things. These are the highlights. It's been very dry, not just the air, but the lack of precipitation, quarter to 50% of where we should be. Now, really warm temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. Those are going to make it all the way to the coast on Thursday because of Santa Ana winds. Much cooler Friday and Saturday. Much cooler. Scattered precipitation, mainly to our northern areas like the San Bernardino Mountains Friday night. Now, we also look at precipitation chances returning for Sunday into Monday, and then perhaps late next week as well. So let's take a look. These are our hazard weather conditions. So as you can see here, a wind advisory has been issued in the areas painted in the light brown. This map is available at the link shown here. This is a new link. So if you have bookmarks, please note that. You can also overlay the latest weather conditions on here, such as the Santa Ana winds on Thursday. Now, this is a list of the top 10, and it is 10 because I combined two of them on here, the heat and the wildfires. But take a look here and see if any of these events impacted your area. Some of them were quite significant, all the way from heat, record-breaking heat, to very heavy record-level rainfall across the region. Now, the weather pattern this winter has been like this. The average weather pattern, the storm track, the jet stream, has been well to our north. This is not one storm. This is entire weather from October through February. So we've been in that Block H area. Warm air has been pushing storms to the north. Now, if you focus on December through February, our traditional winter, the block is more evident. This is the type of block we've seen with drought conditions. When you have this block in the summer, it results in really hot temperatures. In the winter, not only do you get warm, but you have very lack of precipitation during important months like December through February. Now the snowfall across the nation, take a look here. It's been very snowy in the Northeast and the far northern Rockies. If we look in Southern California, the snowfall has been well below average, as well as the precipitation rainfall. So we've only seen 1 to 2 feet, even in our highest terrain up around 8,000 feet. So we really could use some more snowfall in Southern California. Now, water we could use. San Diego now has slipped back to the driest start to any water year on record. So number one, where you don't want to be. Now, further north, Riverside has made some progress thanks to the February 13th rainfall. They're number 6, but still number 6 driest. Palm Springs, they're number 14. So they had some precipitation early in the year that has helped them from being bone dry. Now, if you look across the region of California, two different stories. Northern California still, from the atmospheric rivers of November and December, are running above normal. So that's great news for like Shasta Dam. Now, when you go south, we are a quarter to a half full. So that's the amount of precipitation we've had, a quarter to 50%. So, and if you look to the right, temperatures haven't been that warm along the coast. It's our inland areas from the lack of storms. It's the mountains and deserts that have had a really warm winter. If you look at December through February, again, our core season for winter, where we get most of our precipitation, you can see the map is almost the same for precipitation. The map on the right shows those very warm mountain and desert conditions. Now, the water years in San Diego. So have we seen something like this before? Well, no, but here are the years that are close. So 2017-18, that year only received about 3 inches of rain in San Diego. So any rain in the near future here coming up in March will be helpful. Now for Riverside, the 2006-2007, that ended up being the driest water year total. That was a flash drought, very, very dry conditions, and reservoirs were tapped quickly, including Diamond Valley. Now, if you look at Palm Springs water years, you can see 2006, 2007 also shows up. And this year, just under an inch is number 5, with, of course, several months to go in the water year. Now, we're going to see a Santa Ana wind pattern. And what is a Santa Ana wind pattern? It doesn't mean that there's going to be fires, but the Santa Ana wind pattern is high pressure to low pressure. So we got cold air over the Great Basin. That's going to create offshore flow. It's going to push our sea breeze and fog away, and that's why it's going to get so hot on Thursday. So this is a classic Santa Ana wind pattern, not strong, but a Santa Ana wind pattern coming up. Now, this changes quickly. So from now through Thursday, we've got this big dome of hot air. That allows us to get temperatures in the 80s and 90s. So it's not just the Santa Ana wind, that shuts off the sea breeze. You have to have an air mass that's hot enough to reach those temperatures. But look at the storm by late Thursday getting close to the California coast. That'll move through on Friday, so dramatically colder. Onshore flow, deepening marine layer, clouds, scattered showers, snow levels getting much lower, even down to 4,500 feet during Friday night. Now that storm skips out of here Saturday, so Saturday looks pretty good, dry. Then when we go to Sunday, Monday, we see a larger, a little bit more broad weather system, so we have a better chance of rain Sunday into Monday. By Monday afternoon, that system is just to our east. Now, the temperatures I was talking about, we're bringing the desert to the coast, and we're removing that marine layer because we have Santa Ana winds. So it's going to get really warm. It's already warm on Wednesday, but really warm. Warmest day looks to be on Thursday due to those Santa Ana winds. Compared to normal, look how the desert came to the coast. Compared to normal, it's most different along the coast. That's because the air mass is so warm, but even so, we're replacing the marine layer with dry offshore flow coming from the desert. So we're not bringing necessarily warm air from the desert to the coast. The warm air is above everyone. It's still going to be as hot in the deserts, but compared to normal, when you shut off that marine layer, that's how you get 10 to 20 degrees above averages. The Santa Ana winds are shown here, pockets of Santa Ana winds, making it all the way to the coast. So our wind corridor is up around 50 miles per hour. That's why wind advisories have been issued. Now, do we need to worry about fires? Well, there will be elevated fire potential for some of the dead fuel, the dead vegetation, because it's now dropped well below average with the recent 2 weeks of dry weather. Though we have a lot of live moisture that has taken into the soil, into the roots, grasses are starting to grow, weeds, flowers, and some of the native vegetation is taking off. So that's good to keep fire spread low. Okay, what is going to also help is precipitation in the next 7 days across California. You can see not a big series of storms, but still very beneficial precipitation. Couple inches in the Sierra Nevada, upwards of a half to an inch in Southern California over the next 7 days. Initially, the rain is really light Friday night and Saturday. You can barely see it on this map, I know, but it is going to be light and scattered. Now, when we get into Sunday into Monday, that broader storm I showed you, more widespread, a little heavier, more persistent, that's when we get the bulk of our precipitation. Now the winds are no longer Santa Ana winds this weekend. They're onshore, blowing from ocean to desert. And they get rather windy across our mountain passes and deserts. So big changes in the weather from Thursday to Saturday. This is what we expect. San Diego valleys, 0.2 to 0.5, so a little bit wetter than most areas. The coastal areas in the Inland Empire, 1/10 to 1/3. The mountains, locally up to an inch, but most places quarter to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Most of that is going to be Sunday evening and night. The snow level, while it will get low with a dramatic cooling occurring Friday night, we don't expect a lot of snow. The precipitation will be a little more widespread and heavier, as I mentioned, Sunday into Monday. So that's when we could see more significant accumulation, but still low amounts. The rainfall rates are not expected to be heavy, but we could see a strong cell even Friday night in the northern mountains. We could also see a couple strong cells and some enhancement along our coastal slopes Sunday night into Monday. We will be watching the burn scars. These are the area burn scars. We had a significant mud, debris, flash flood on the line fire on February 13th in the evening. That ended up closing down State Route 330 for a couple weeks. The outlook is coming up. So we do see another potential storm on the horizon as we get deeper into mid-March. So that'll keep the West Coast wet and cooler than average. Where's it coming from? Well, another broad, relatively weak, but broad. You can see the general weather pattern is split. There's a lot of separation in those lines. But we still get a portion of that jet stream coming across Southern California later next week as we get into March. Now, there's also a possibility for a third storm, which would be after that, and that looks like it could be potentially a weaker but significant atmospheric river. So we'll watch that closely as we go forward over the next couple weeks. These are some links for your reference. I do want to highlight one of the links up top will be changing on March 1st. Please, if you use bookmarks, these links will need to be changed because they may not redirect automatically. So if an error up there, you have two options to look at the hazards and the real-time weather, either the GIS viewer or the weather.gov link that is shown here. We're also on Facebook and X, so check us out there. All right, stay safe, everyone. Enjoy the warm weather, but be prepared for the big changes to much colder and periods of precipitation coming up over the next several days.